Greetings everyone and welcome back to another Minecraft modding tutorial for 1.9.4. Now in this episode, we're going to be working with blocks and items, just simply setting that up. We don't really want to go too simple on this, but we're just going to be, making sure that everything works. So first of all, what I realized I did wrong last time is that I put the register renders in here, in the pre-init. You want to move those to your init, so that when the render registering actually happens, it doesn't throw you a null pointer exception when loading in the blocks. So yeah, that is all good. We're going to be making a block first. And oh, that's actually one thing I want to remove first, because I did do some testing before because it did not work. So let me just delete those. Okay, so I will just go ahead and start. And to make your own block or your own item, all you really want to do in your mod blocks file is you want to initialize that you're going to be making a block here. So public static, because these functions are static, so this needs to be static. A public static block, and we're going to be calling it simple. Okay, and just import net.minecraft.blog, and I cannot, so I'm just gonna there you go, Control Shift O, it imports everything. And now we want to define simple. So this simple block, it's going to be a new block file. We're not going to be making our own block file for now. This is the vanilla block file, and as you can see, it needs a material parameter at least. So we're just going to pass in a material. You can do material dot, and you'll see a list of materials from default vanilla Minecraft. And so we're just going to be taking something like ground. That is pretty much it, except we also want to set our unlocalized name, and the unlocalized name will be used for basically everything. It'll be used for Forge to be able to find your JSON file for the block state, for the block, and for the item block file, and for if you want to register a name for the block as well. And yeah, it's basically for everything. So we're just going to be pretty simple for now. And now we want to register the block, and what would be smartest is if we made a different class, and we're going to be calling it block registry, and here we're going to be having two functions. The first one being the registering of the block, so register block. We could actually, never mind, we're going to do that another time. So pass in a block parameter like so. And this is going to be calling the game registry dot register block. And I know this is deprecated in 1.9, but it still works, and we're going to be changing that whenever 1.10 comes out. So the block will be the block, and the string over here is going to be the get unlocalized name dot substring 5. And the reason we're doing this substring thing is that initially this is our this right here, that's the unlocalized name. We only want the simple part, so we're just going to be removing the first 5 characters in this string, and that is what substring 5 does. The same thing goes for items. They are item and then dot the name, and so that's also substring 5 if you want to remove that. But yeah, that is it for the registering of the block. So now we're just going to be calling that in here with simple, just like that. Make sure to import it, but it should do that by itself. Okay, now we are going to be registering the block render, and I'm just going to be copying this bit of code because it's a bit of a hassle to code here on my own, and I don't really remember everything added because I've never worked with this 1.9 shit before, really. Except I've seen this part before. I've worked with it before, but it's pretty new. I cannot remember this path. Now I probably can. Yeah. But anyway, we're just going to be removing that for now, and this as well. I'll be, the code is in the description, so don't worry. What we want to do above here is put item equals item dot get item from block, and then you want to not simple Oh, we're doing this in the wrong function. I realized that. Control X. Go into here and make your new function. And oops, why are we calling this register render? Pass in a block parameter. Paste that back in and put block in here. Now, the reason why we're doing this is because this register method requires, as you can see, an item parameter. And so we have to pass in that. And luckily there is a get item from block function inside the item class. So we can just use that. And we also need to do it for the unlocalized name here. And now we need to import our own reference file. And we need to import model resource location, Control Shift O. And there we go. That works fine. We can just go over it here. It goes into this path in the item model measure by using Minecraft, blah blah blah, and then it registers a new entry using the block or the item block, a metadata. Ours is just 0, so we'll put that to 0 because it's not a meta item. We'll probably get into meta items and meta blocks later. And then we want to pass it in a model resource location. And so this is the location for the render, pretty much, for the texture initially, or well, pretty much. Anyway, and yeah, we pass in the mod ID and the unlocalized name of the item or the block, and then we pass in this inventory string, which I'm not quite sure what we do that for, but it's something with 1.9, and I'm going to be looking into it. I'm going to be talking to you guys about it later because it's more than just in here. You'll be spotting this in a few places. So yeah, we can just go ahead and call the function register render for our symbol block. There we go. Now, before you launch the game, as you would normally in the previous versions of modding, or in Minecraft pretty much, sorry for saying pretty much that often, we need some JSON files, and for blocks it's actually 3 files: a block state file, a block file, and an item block file. Luckily, I'm going to be sharing with you a few links and also a download link from my own tool here. Reason being, it's a bit of a hassle to make these files all the time, because there will be quite a lot if you're working with a lot of blocks. So yeah, so you only have 5 blocks, you actually need 15 files, so it's quite a lot of files. So I'm going to be sending this to you and to your way, and this is a tool for creating these files for you. You don't really have to do anything except for going into the blocks. In this case, you pass in the block name and the mod ID, and you set the path for your MCP directory, as you can see here. Sorry. So I'm just going to be doing that, and it's not where it is. It is in 1.9.4 MCP YouTube, and we're going to be copying this path right here, pasting it into here, set the path, make sure the path is right, change the block name to symbol in this case, and the mod ID is, it's actually mod ID, and click create, and it should say successfully generated. If it didn't, that means you did not do it in the right directory, or you did, but what you didn't is that you have not made your resource path yet. And did we not do this in this tutorial? I don't think we did. Oh, okay, let's just quickly go over what you need to do real quickly. It's fairly simple. So you go into your source main resources. In here you'll want to create a couple of folders. The first one being assets, right? New folder assets. In there, a new folder which has the name of your mod ID. So mine's just mod ID. 3 folders in here. One called block states, one called models, and one called textures. And yep, when you've done that, go into the models and make 2 more folders. I know it's a lot of folders. One called block and one called item. This is where, as you can see, the JSON file just went in, and yeah, that's the block JSON file. Go into textures, and in here you'll have to create blocks and items and you can just create whatever others you think you'll need for your mod. So just for the heck of it, I created entities, GUI, HUD, and models. But yeah, blocks and items is all you really need for now. And this is where you put your textures. So yeah, I made this really ugly texture for my block, and it probably looks better in game. I don't know. Anyway, when you're done with that, and then the program should work, and as you can see, we've got our 3 JSON files. So now we can go ahead and run the game, and we will have created ourselves a block successfully. Yeah, we're just gonna wait till it's done. Alright, if we go into world, we did not add it to a creative tab, but here, let's just get rid of it. You can do give player your mod ID and then colon and then the block name or the unlock class name, and there you'll see it. And music is pretty annoying. So yep, there you have it. And as you can see, it works fine in first person, third person, and in your inventory. That's for the JSON files, are pretty much for rendering a block in game, making sure everything is as it should be. So yeah, that is pretty much all I've had for this tutorial. I did want to go over items, but it's fairly similar, so we're going to be quickly doing that in the next tutorial, as well as doing some other pretty basic things, and then we're going to be getting into user suggestions and a bit of LLibrary, because I do want to show you some of the cool features that LLibrary has to offer for you. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please leave a like if you did, and you know, if you have any other people or friends you know maybe want to get into modding, then go ahead and tell them. Then Tom's gonna make some tutorials for you. I'll also be making some written tutorials if you're not really into that video tutorial part, where people just talk and talk and talk like I'm doing right now. So yeah, but anyway, that's it for now. Have a good day or night, and I'm out.